All right, so as I said, apologies for the odd start. Normally it all just happens very smoothly, but we obviously had some sort of glitch and I had to copy and paste you all and send you all a new email. So apologies about that. My name is Mandy. I am a consultant in the Crusaders team, and our team leader is actually in Adelaide at a team leader conference. So Denise and I are running this for you guys tonight. And the plan is to show you around the TM6. So some of you may have maybe here to have a look at the TM6 and contemplating the upgrade, and others of you may have a TM6 and just want to learn more. So we're just going, feel free to use the chat, which is down the bottom, and put questions in there. Thanks, Diana's welcomed you all anyway as well. So thank you. All right, so actually I'd love you just to type in the chat which sort of Thermomix you have, if you have one at all. Please just pop in the chat what you've got, and I'm going to do a quick little tour of the TM6 for people who haven't seen it before. So in all that time, of course, my screen's gone off, so just turn that on quickly. And we'll get going. Yeah, cool. The old one. Okay, that's the TM31. All right. Okay, so this is our beautiful TM6. And, you know, by the way, thank you all for coming along, and I apologize again for the start. This is our TM6. So if you are a TM31 owner, we still have time, temperature and speed. Whichever one of these is large is controlled by this, this dial on the right. So I can turn up my time there. This is my temperature. So we do have more options than you do on the TM31. We're going all the way up here to 120. That's on all of those are on a thermostat. So when you're on the thermostat, obviously like you're heating, it's going to click on and click off. So if you were going to steam this manually, then you would want it on varoma temperature to get a rolling boil. Okay, this is your speed dial here, and you just turn that up, and that is what we mainly have to do in the guided cooking. This little symbol here at the bottom is the chopping, and that is your reverse. All right, I'm very quickly going to show you the rest of it here, and then we will get going. All right, well, we are going, but you know what I mean, we'll get some cooking done. We've got our scales, we've got our dough mode, we've got a turbo. So all of you TM31 owners have all of those. What you don't have is a pre-clean. So the pre-clean is fantastic. You can put water, a drop of dishwashing or some white vinegar in here, and you turn up. So the further around you turn on the screen, on this dial, the hotter and the longer you'll clean. You normally just have to, you know, occasionally you may have to do a little bit of elbow grease afterwards, but most of the time it's just a rinse and you're away. We've got an automatic blend, which is used in soups. We have egg boiler mode, which is fantastic. You can put up to 6 eggs in here. The blades don't turn in this mode. You have a litre of water, and you just turn it on to how you like your eggs. So if you want a medium soft boiled eggs for breakfast, you turn it on to that, and it'll tell you when they're done. We've got kettle mode, which is useful when you're poaching eggs. A kettle boils quicker than this.
We'd go down to Germana and stay in Caravan Park. They get along.
Yeah, thank you. People can make sure that they're muted. Warm-up mode. This is a great one for people who don't want to use a microwave. You just turn up to, I usually turn up to about 80, and you turn the dial on here and it will warm up your soup or your casserole. A lot of these modes are just using guided cooking. So we've got thicken mode. That's your custard, your bechamel sauce, your hollandaise sauce. We've got a rice cooker, and Denise is going to be showing you that. That's in her recipe tonight. Fermentation mode, the best yogurt. Okay, so no apologies for the yogurt rather than the yogurt. I could never got my head around that, even though I've been here for a long time. So I made some last night, and it is just fantastic in the bowl, or you can actually do it in the varoma in small jars. Slow cooking and sous vide, you need, where is it? A blade cover peeler. I'll find that in a minute. It's just a little silver thing that goes over your blades, And the slow cook, it just means that your meat doesn't shred when it's soft. And with sous vide is when you're cooking something in a plastic bag and remove as much air as possible. So under a vacuum, literally. And it's going to give you volume if you've got the blade cover in there. The blade cover is also a peeler. So it will actually peel your potatoes for you. And interestingly enough, I had a customer this week. I went to do some stuff with her, and what she really wanted to do was know how to peel her potatoes because she's allergic to potato skin. So you can use this for peeling potatoes, you can use it for garlic, you can use it for ginger, beetroot, fantastic for beetroot. You don't look like you've committed a murder. So all sorts of fantastic things. And then we've got last two are grating and slicing. And these are to do with the cutter, which we're going to show you a little bit later on. Okay, so that's, oh, hang on, quick little tour the other way. Goodness me. The other thing we can do is just swipe that way and we come straight into Cookie Do, which is our recipe platform. And again, we're going to show you that a little bit later on in a little bit more detail. So that is a very quick tour of the TM6. And now we're going to go over to Denise. Now, Denise, are we Denise? Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay.
All ready to go.
Wonderful.
Hey,
thank you.
Thanks for the intro, Mandy. Welcome everybody to my kitchen in Mentone tonight. We are making one of my family's favourite Fakeaway takeaways, which is a Biryani style rice. So let's get straight into the cooking so that you can see all the Thermomix magic right up close. So we're going to do a swipe. Actually, I don't need to do a swipe. I can go to my wig. I'm going to show you a little bit of the magic of our Cookie Do system and go into my planner, which is already set for my biryani style rice for tonight. And then you can see I've got something, oh, look, cheesecake ready for tomorrow because my colleagues requested one. We've got a birthday in the team, so that's going on for tomorrow night. So I'm going to select this biryani style rice, and through the beauty of our beautiful big TM6 screen, we can pre-read the recipe directly here on the screen. All of the ingredients you can get ready in advance if you're that type of person who likes to have it all laid out. You can read the whole format. You can even skip directly to these steps just by touching them if you want to just do half the recipe or you want to skip between the recipe steps. And right down the bottom, you've got nutrition and you've also got hints and tips that you can use to change up the recipe. So let's go back to the beginning and actually start at cooking. Alrighty, so I was asking for 3 garlic cloves. So we're going to start with our aromatics as we usually do. So I'm going to throw those in. And then this is basically just, if you can read, you can cook. We just hit next and we go straight to the next instruction. It's like just following the bouncy ball. So 2 centimeters of fresh ginger going in and we hit next. It asks for the lid and the MC to go on. And for those of you who are not au fait with the new MC, it grips on. So yes, we don't have the old TM31 hassle of the bouncing MC, which used to be just ever so delightful. Alrighty, so here we go. And here you see your time, temperature and speed that you're familiar with, but it's all preset on the TM6. So the recipe tells 5 seconds. We have no temperature because we're in chopping mode. And it's asking us to turn to speed 7, but this is actually a preset. So all I have to do is swivel this dial and it will preset itself and it'll stop automatically at speed 7. So in 5 seconds, we'll have a look. I can hear that actually stopped at about 3 seconds. That was done because I couldn't hear any more chopping going on. And when the chime is going off, you can just touch anywhere on the screen. You can touch your select the dial button, push it, or you can hit next to turn off your chime. It's amazing how many people don't know all the different ways to turn their chime off. Alrighty, so there you go. And for those who've never seen that, wow, that is just a wow factor right there. That was literally 3 seconds of chopping teeny weeny little bits of those aromatics. And one of the most beautiful things, I remember George Columbaris telling us that one of the things that he loved about Thermomix cooking himself is that all of that flavour is staying in the bowl. So we've lost none of that flavour to a chopping board. So very flavourful way to cook. Alrighty, and next, we're transferring this out into a bowl. So I'm going to just also with our TM6, we have a beautiful new bendy spatula. It is so wonderful to be able to get around all the corners of the bowl. Thank you to my cameraman here who's giving you guys a really great view. So we're just going to move a little bit to the bottom, which is one of my favorite ways of getting everything out. And then just, oops, we're swapping spots. Sorry, Liam, you're over my shoulder. There we go, getting most of that out into that little bowl there. Beautiful. Alrighty, I'm just going to leave the rest in there because biryani is kind of all about having everything flavored together. Okay, so now we're going into some oil of choice. Now this says 20 grams. Quite often in a recipe for oil, it will just say a tablespoon of oil or a teaspoon of oil. So even in a recipe like this, if the scales haven't come up and it's just asking you for a teaspoon or a tablespoon, these three little dots here, down here, thanks Liam, in the top here, just right next to the next button, you can open up the recipe detail at any time. You can also activate the scales and they will come up like that. So you can always weigh in something rather than using another teaspoon or tablespoon. But this one, luckily, it already has it. Now, I'm not fanatical about actually getting the exact grammage because with the TM6, we go down to 1 gram increments and it's actually really brought out the specificness of some people. There is no need to be that specific. Okay, brown onion. We've got onion cut into wedges, 3 to 4 centimeters. Whoops, here they go. All those going in. Then we'll put small onions, I have to say, because my onions were very, very small. Now it's asking me to put on the lid without the measuring cup, so I'm taking that off. And we've got some heating and some sauteing going on right here. So while we've got a little a minute and a half here, I'm just going to tell you guys about a couple of things that are going on at the moment with Thermomix. So the first is the current TM6 offer. So I know that we've got some people here tonight who are looking at the new TM6 to purchase. Some of you might be looking at the upgrade pathway, the trade up, and I think Mandy's going to talk about that in a little bit. But what I'm just going to explain to you now is for people who are going to be purchasing from fresh. So the current TM6 offer is $2,359 for the TM6 machine, and then you can optionally add on for a discounted price our brand new cutter attachment. Now I haven't got mine out because Mandy's showing it later, but actually I'll just like pull it out so you can see it. So this is how I store mine, actually upside down and in my spare bowl. So this is the attachment that sits in the bowl, and it's like a mandolin. There is a blade that sits in here as well. Mandy's going to show you all of that later, how it actually works. So this is not even yet publicly available for sale in the mix shop yet. We don't quite have enough stock for that, but it is available to trade ups and to people who are purchasing. So you can add it on to your Thermomix for just $99. It's valued at $199. So that is the current TM6 offer. And we also have a 36 months free offer as well. I was also going to tell you, actually, Mandy, you might need to do that because I need to get back to my recipe. We've got the Biz offer as well. Alrighty, so I'm just going to keep moving with the recipe because we want to make sure that we get it all cooked for you in time. So you can see in here that we've got the start of some nice cooking going on there, some light sauteing. That's smelling gorgeous, I have to say. All right, so now we're going to add our chicken. So it's just a small amount of chicken because biryani is mostly about the rice. So you'll notice that this doesn't look very glossy because I've patted this dry, part of the instructions, and we popped it into 3 centimeter cubes. And you can use your chicken of choice in this. So I've used thigh meat today. Just make sure that that is all there. Awesome. Okay, so now I need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which I've got here, and down here, thanks Liam, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. So I'm popping both of those in here on top, just making sure that I evenly distribute that all around. I want that flavour to be good, and that the chicken is also distributed evenly all around the bowl like this. Okay. I'm really very comprehensive here. Okay, and we're going to hit the next button. Now, so what needs to happen now is we are moving into our high heat mode. So the high heat mode is one of the wonders, one of the new wonderful features of the TM6, because we can now go up to 160 degrees in the bowl. The TM31 and the TM5 weren't able to do that, and it means that we can brown foods, and we can caramelize. We can get to sugar stages and do things like toffees and honeycombs and stuff like that. So when we're using the high heat mode, there is another a safety feature that we need to add to the lid, which is our splash guard. And here you can clearly see this safety message. Place the splash guard onto your mixing bowl lid to prevent splashing. So we take off the MC here and we add the splash guard, and then this is grabbed and held on by the electronic arms. So we just confirm here that we've put the splash guard on, and then simply flick the dial, which is pre-programmed, and now that is going to be coming up to a beautiful high temperature, and we're going to get some nice color and flavor on the garlic, the ginger, the chicken, and the, what else is in there? Garlic, ginger, onion. Thank you. I knew there was one of those ingredients in there. All righty, awesome. So I think I'm going over to you, Mandy, and maybe you can fit in about the offer on the business side.
I will. I'll get cooking though first. And just quickly, that is the blade cover peeler. And that is what you need on, I think it was Kirsten saying that she's allergic to potato skins as well. So you put this on, you pop potatoes in, you go to the peeler mode, you cover your potatoes with water and it peels them for you. Fantastic, it washes them too. All right, so I'm going to also, I've got my recipe also in my week. And I've forgotten how to pronounce this again. I had from my friend Carolyn, who's on here tonight, she said, what's it? Gyros, I think it is Gyros. So is that right? Someone's nodding. Fantastic. So that's what I'm making tonight. And the first thing is actually it says to put a sealable container on the lid. Well, I have done this bit because it's basically weighing a lot of different spices in to make the Gyros spice mix. Okay, so I'll just show you what they were. We've got chili powder, coriander, paprika, cumin, garlic powder. I only had granules, so I'll put granules in. And I didn't have dried parsley, so I put a bit of extra, and I did the thyme, but I put mixed herbs in for the thyme and the parsley. Cinnamon, salt. All right, it says to put it in that container. I put it in a jar because it then said mix it. So all I had to do was just shake it all up and that mixed it beautifully for me. So that is what the mix looks like. It smells incredible. And then we move on to actually making the tzatziki. Hopefully I was pronouncing that properly. All right. I've got one garlic clove going in. Now what I generally do, it is one of the things that I do with my peeler, and I peel a whole heap, I freeze it flat, and then I put it into bags. This actually is fresh, but normally that's what I do. Okay. Lid on, 5 seconds. Again, so it's set that. All I'm doing is whizzing around to speed 8. Now there is a little delay in opening the lid. It's just so that if you had hot contents in there, they've got time to settle. There it is. That poking down. All right. 100 grams of cucumber de-seeded, peeled, and cut into 2 to 3 centimetre pieces. Second speed 4. So easy, so you just follow the instructions. All right, but that's chopped up there. And it says 250 grams of sour cream, but you know what? I've got this beautiful thick Greek yogurt that I made overnight. So I'll just show you that thick. And I'm going to use that. I mean, I'm very much for using whatever I've got, you know, shop the fridge. Use what you've got in your fridge. There we go, that'll do. A little bit of salt. And some mixed herbs. Just going to scrape down the sides, get that cucumber down into it. And then we've got 10 seconds on speed 2, or 3, sorry. And I'm just going to pop it into this bowl, which I actually bought back from Greece. So it's very, very the right thing to put it into. But in the meantime, whilst I'm doing that, we're going back to Denise.
Perfect timing too. This literally just finished. So guys, you can see in here, and as soon as I basically went on to mute, this started sizzling away. And you can see the juices have come out of the chicken. You can see all those juices down there in the bottom here. Let me see if I can tip that down. Wow, see all those gorgeous juices down there? So all that is going to remain in the dish with us. Oh my gosh. Oh, smelling so beautiful. And it was literally like a fry pan going sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Absolutely gorgeous. Alrighty. So now we're up to the next step. And as usual, we're just following the bouncy ball. So we're going to add to this 2 fresh tomatoes, around about 300 grams or so. This is a little bit less because my husband jumped into the tomatoes that I bought. I was like, oh. Okay. So 1 to 2 centimeter pieces. That's going in. And then next, tomato paste. So around about 20 grams. You can make your own tomato paste as well if you have a good tomato sauce. And oh, I'm already at 20 grams. That was very little tomato paste needed. Alrighty. So now we've got quite a few spices to add. And this is the magic that makes that incredible biryani. Now, Kashmiri chili, you can get it from specialty spice stores. It's a much milder version of chili, and I've run out of it. So I'm just using a bit less of the actual chili, like a hot chili. So I'm doing a 1/4 teaspoon of Kashmiri chili, or just regular chili, which is this one here. And then ground turmeric, which is this one right next to it. And then we go to 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and then coriander and ground pepper. I used white pepper and sea salt because, yeah, like Mandy was saying, we shop the cupboard, shop the fridge. So here are all my spices, and these are all going in together. And then we just add these beautiful reserved and ginger that we did before. So that is going in there. Because these guys get put in. So there we go. So that is popped in. And then again, without the measuring cup on this goes, how easy is it? Literally, if you can read, you can do this. So you'll notice here that we have, again, time, temperature, and speed preset for us. And you can see the little circle going in the opposite direction here. This means that the blade has been automatically turned onto reverse. So for you TM31 owners who have to remember to hit the reverse button, put your hand up or comment in the chat if you forgot to ever reverse it and you made risotto soup. We all did it, right? So now one of the beautiful things about our guided cooking is that all of those little things are remembered by the Thermomix software, by the recipe, which is so amazing. So while that is happening, because I think I'm going straight onto my rice cooker mode after this, is I'm just going to revisit what I was going to tell you before about our current business offers. So for those of you who are thinking, wow, I love my Thermomix cooking, or I love my Thermomix, I want to do what those girls do, or how can I get myself a slightly more affordable Thermomix joining the business is one of the great ways of doing it, because you get all the training, you have all the camaraderie, and lots of fantastic information. So you can earn a Thermomix by jumping into the business and selling 6 in your 60 days. But you also get all these freebies along the way. So the cutter that we were talking about before, this is, you can earn this as a free reward for selling your first 3 Thermomixes in your first, Mandy, help me out there. Is it
60
in your
days.
first 60
days.
Thank you. So if you sell 3, you get this for free. And if you sell 4, you get a whole nother bowl blade lid set for free, which is worth about $300. So some fantastic freebies along the way. And then of course you can earn your own Thermomix by selling 6, or part of the Thermomix by selling 4 to 6. So some fantastic things that you can do there by jumping in and becoming one of the consultants. I've actually been a consultant for over 10 years now. I think, Mandy, you've been in the business for a long time as well. It's just so much fun.
Not quite as long as that, but
not as long as me. Yeah, I'm showing my age there. But it's for those people who like cooking, it's just such a great way to add additional income to your household, or to be actually a full-time job. So I was also just going to talk briefly about rice cooking, because we're moving into rice cooking mode now. Oh, I've got 9 seconds left. And this rice cooking mode, I thought nothing could be better than steaming the rice in the basket that we've been doing for years. But rice cook mode is phenomenal. And let's just, oh God, have a look at what is going on over here. Oh my God. Oh, this smells fantastic. You all need to have smell-o-vision and be at my house here. It's looking really great, guys. Wowza. Okay. And smelling fantastic. Alrighty. So now I'm going to place my simmering basket on the lid. And I'm going to show you what I would have done otherwise. So I would have placed my basket up here, like it says here on the screen. I'm going to tear that back to 0 because don't you love how it says it's got a little basket up there for weighing. And then I'd be weighing in here my basmati rice that I'm going to then be cooking as part of my biryani. But I have already done this. And then it says thoroughly rinse that rice. So I was going to talk to you about rice a little bit. So you can get some easy cooked rices or some partially cooked rices that don't actually need to be rinsed. But if you're using a standard rice, and like this basmati is, you really do need to rinse your rice quite well, especially when you're using the rice cooker mode, because it's the old fashioned absorption method, which means that we're not rinsing away the starch. If you like the old method, which is by cooking it in here, which we have water washing over the rice all the time. So when we use the rice cooker mode, we do need to thoroughly rinse that rice. So I have already done that. So here is my weighed and rinsed rice. And basically I soak it in 2 sinks, like little sinks full of water. And that basically I find gets rid of most of that starch. So you want to give it a pretty good rinse. Okay, so here we are now on top of all of this, we're going to tear and then add cold water into the bowl on top of everything else that we've got in here. Water going in. Then we add in our pre-rinsed rice. So in here. Are these simmering baskets? Honestly, I don't know. Can you guys all put in the chat all the different uses for the simmering basket? I use it for so many things. Can you name a few, Mandy?
I use it all the time for straining things, just weighing things into all sorts of things.
All kinds of things. I use it all the time. Luckily, I've got several of them. Alrighty, so that's all gone in. I'm going to give it a little stir with the spatula. Look at the colour in here. Oh my gosh, Liam, it's just this most gorgeous orange colour. That turmeric in there does wonders. Okay, give that a little stir. And then I'm going to put the lid on. And then it says here to drop through the hole my last 2 aromatic ingredients, which is a cinnamon quill and then 10 cardamom pods that I pre-crushed. So I'm just going to throw that on the top and those in through the hole. And then again, my simmering basket goes on the lid. Thank you, instructions. And we're into rice cooker mode. So rice cooker mode, it's one of these automatic modes that Mandy was showing you before, where it's using all of the sensors that are in the bowl. There's a lot of smarts inside the TM6 that you can't see, and it's loaded with sensors. So all I have to do is flick this dial, and it is working out exactly the timing that is going to be required to cook this rice. And as it gets down to less and less liquid in the bowl, it will adjust its timing so that the rice comes out absolutely perfectly. Now that is stirring in there at the moment. It's going in reverse, never mind. But as soon as that has done enough stirring and it's mixed all the ingredients and the water around, those blades will actually stop moving altogether automatically. It's amazing, I know. And then that will just sit and go into absorption mode as if it would in a regular saucepan. So it's an absolute miracle for those of you who love rice. Rice cooker mode is just really quite revolutionary. Okay, Mandy,
Fantastic.
over to you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, whoever did that for me. Yeah, the other thing with rice cookers, I have a Vietnamese customer and she got rid of her rice cooker, actual rice cooker, because of the fantastic rice cooked in her Thermomix. So if you're worried about that at all, it is brilliant. Now, I'm just going to show you that tzatziki. There it is, with all the cucumber in it. So that's put aside. And I'm going back into the recipe. So it's asking me to place a bowl onto the mixing bowl lid and to put 400 grams of pork fillets. Well, we're more chicken people in this house, so I've adapted and put chicken in. And I have done, oh, hang on. I'll tell you what else it says. You weigh some of the reserved gyros spices and a little bit of vegetable oil. And I just used olive oil, and I've just had it sitting there in the fridge for a few hours now, just so it's going to be nice and flavoursome. So that's 60 grams of brown onion. I only had red, so we're going red. Okay, I think I'm a little bit under too. 40 grams. 20 grams of olive oil. I love this arm workout doing this. And then I'm just going to pop the simmering basket on top of the lid. And that is going to cook for 2 minutes. It's going to heat up to 120. It's on reverse, okay? Okay, and whilst that's doing that, just going to talk to you about the trade-up offer. Okay, so anyone who wants to trade their TM31 up to the TM6, you need to contact your consultant and ask for a specific link to click on, which will take you through to the shopping cart, where you will get $300 off the cost of a new TM6. That's $2,059, plus the cutter for free. And in a little bit later, I'm going to show you how the cutter works. The cutter's valued at $199, as Denise has already told you. So that's $499 worth of value. So once you've done that, you will be sent an address, a stamped address thing by email by Thermomix. And you just need to find a box to pack up your Thermomix and all it fits in, your TM31. We generally suggest, like, you know, go and buy a bottle of a dozen bottles of wine, or go and get an empty box from Dan Murphy's and just pack it into that and send it off to the post office. So you don't pay for the postage. And once you've posted it and Thermomix gets notification that you've posted it, they will send out your TM6. All right. Once your TM6 arrives, your consultant will help you get going with it. So it's a pretty easy process, and I hope you can see, I mean, you know, what we're doing tonight, how different the TM6 is. I'm not knocking the TM31 at all. I started off with the TM31, and it's a machine, it really is. but the innovation, I guess, with the TM6, and we get updates all the time. So those two little modes for the cutter just appeared one day, probably about 6 weeks ago, and we didn't have them there. Sometimes you have to do an update, but because it's Wi-Fi enabled, a lot of those modes were not there when we first started with the TM6, and it just keeps improving all the time. Okay, my onions have just finished. So, and now it's asking me to put 200 grams. Smells good. See if I can show you my onions. Look, there are not very many in there. It's asking me to put in 200 grams of my chicken. So this is a really good example. When you click next and then you read the instruction and you take the lid off, you must make sure that you tell your scales. Okay, back to 0. And I've got myself 2 spatulas and I can't see a single one. Right, so I'm going to put 200 grams in there. I think I actually had a little bit more than 200. I mean 400 anyway. So I'm going to put that in there. Next, I'm going to do exactly as Denise did. I'm going to put my lid back on again, which again is all right. I'm going to put the splash guard on. I'm popping done, and this is going to cook on high heat. This 200 grams for 6 minutes. And then what's going to happen, I'm going to take that out, put that into a thermo server. In fact, I can show you on the preview. So as Denise said, we have these 3 little dots, open preview. So I'm going to put my, so I'm basically just adding, I'm going to repeat the same process, and then I'm going to add the cooked one back in and just heat it all up. So it's all heated up at the same time. But I'm not going to stop to show you all those stages. You'll see it all finished at the end. We've still got a bit to get through with the cookie dough, which I believe we're going to Denise, and she's going to show you a bit of cookie dough. Thanks, Denise.
Yeah. Oh, hi. Great. Thank you for our spotlighters tonight and people who are working in the chat. Everything is running really smoothly as far as that goes. So thanks. This is actually a really big team effort that goes in to get one of these cooking classes together for you guys. I'm going to be talking with you and showing you tonight through one of my most favourite things about the TM6, which is the cookie dough recipe system. And basically think of it like Netflix for recipes. So if you've got a subscription to Netflix or Stan, basically that's what Cookie Dough is. And it gives you access to, I think we're up to like 80,000 global recipes. It's pretty amazing. So I'm going to share screen. Or can I actually have screen sharing rights, please, from the hostess with the mostest? That would
you should be able to just share down the bottom there, Denise. You've got to see a green.
Yeah, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, goodness.
So let's see. I mean, because I do have the green share button.
Oh, hang on, maybe you're not a co-host on this one. Let me just find you.
Oh, actually, yeah, because I'm logged on twice.
Yes. Okay. Let me just co-host you.
Thanking you.
There you are.
Oh, that's better. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to share screen and pick my cookie dough screen. So can you guys all see cookie dough now?
We can.
Excellent. Fantastic. And I'll just make this smaller down here. All righty. So guys, cookie dough is like my favorite thing. I have it. I'm looking at it numerous times a day. Things pop up for me, and on my phone, I know that you're seeing this at the moment, but I'll come back and show you after. You can get what's it called? Those things that go on the phone.
The app.
No, not the app. Liam, what are the things that go on the front screen of your phone? What? Okay, anyway, I'll find out the word for you guys, but you can set it actually on the front screen of your phone, and it shows you a new recipe every day. you know, and it's not part of the app. So, but it can lead to the app. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten the name of them, but I will find that out for you guys. So
I didn't know that.
Oh, haven't you guys seen it? Chat to you. Where is it? Where is it? I'll have to do it. I'll have to show you after because you probably can't see this very well. But basically on my front screen, I've got this widget. Oh, it's a widget. Widget. There you go. I was going to call it a doodle, but it's not a doodle. It's a widget. So it's like a widget that I've just put there, and it's Cookie Do, and it just shows me a new recipe every day. So, and I often go in and just favorite those recipes. So here we are in the main screen of Cookie Do. And from here, we can explore a whole lot of different recipes. Actually, now I have just heard my Thermomix blades have just turned off. So now it's just in rice cooker mode, doing all the absorbing. So I can search in here for a recipe that I might like to look for, or I can scan down here and look at what are the latest recipes that have been released. What are the recommendations for me based on the style of cooking that I selected that I like the best? And I can read more about these types of recipes. And then there's usually information here about something that is new or something that is seasonal. And we have our cutter accessory here. And then also information on scaling your own recipes. This is a new upgraded feature of the latest software that has been available for the TM6 because it is a smart kitchen. It downloads its own software and gets smarter all the time. So all of those modes that Mandy showed you, they weren't there when the Thermomix was first released 2 or 3 years ago. They have been added over time. So it just keeps getting better and better and better. And then we have the most cooked, oh my gosh, look at this, guys. The most cooked recipe in Australia, New Zealand at the moment is a pina colada. That is incredibly funny, and pancakes. And then when Mother's Day comes up, you see all of the breakfast foods and things like that. And sometimes we try with our customers to actually break this most cooked list, and we all go out and tell our customers to all cook one recipe, and we try and get on this list. It's really, really fun. And there's the new blade cover peeler that we were talking about before. We've got ice cream, everyday essentials, how to use the new thicken mode. There's just so much learning and great information in here. So let's just have a search about in Cookie Do. So this is the main searching screen, and here we can choose to either search for individual recipes, or we can search for whole collections or cookbooks. So if I just switch for the moment to the collections, basically we're looking at the front cover of all of the different cookbook collections. A collection has 8 to 10 recipes, and then a full cookbook has, anywhere from 60 to 120. Now, these are the collections and cookbooks from all over the world. I'm going to show you in filters how you can filter down to different countries or different languages that you might be wanting to explore. But with the benefit of Google Translate, most of these recipes are actually available to us reading it through Google Chrome here. The TM6 doesn't translate them because it's not running Google Chrome, but you can read them off here in lots of different languages. So this is really wonderful here when you're searching for collections around specific themes. But I'm just going to jump back to recipes at the moment. So if I was wanting to, search for something, for a chicken, for a midday dinner or a midweek dinner, I should say. Chicken is like the most searched thing in recipes. So I'm searching here across all English written recipes, and I've got 1,358 recipes to choose from. Well, that is an awful lot of recipes. And as I'm scrolling here, I'm thinking, yep, wow, that's amazing. Would love that, would love that, would love that. But there's probably a few too many to actually scroll all the way through, and probably some of them are maybe too long for my time frame, etc. So I'm going to introduce you to the filtering system. And this, oh my gosh, I just love it so much. We can search via categories of different recipes, and I can open up here and show you all the categories and how many of these recipes are sitting within each of these categories here. And perhaps I'm looking for a main dish that's including meat. So that's narrowed me down to 719 recipes. It's probably still a few too many. Now here, I can select ingredients that I would like to have in this recipe. This is an absolute wonder. And for those of you who are looking to save money, and who isn't these days, you can pop in here ingredients that you have in your fridge, in your crisper, or in your pantry that you want to use up. So I could, you know, pop in here zucchini as an example. Now, if I've got a whole cupboard full of zucchini, or I've got zucchinis ripening in the garden and I want to use those, here we go. So I've chosen a chicken main meal dish that has zucchini, and that's going to give me 20 results. So that is a much more manageable number of recipes to look at. I can search by various tags here. So a tagline means that we have recipes that are tagged gluten-free, recipes that are tagged girls' night in, or party food, or things like that. So all of the recipes are tagged, and then so you can group recipes together by using the tagging system, which is again amazingly useful, because although we have 80,000 recipes, we don't want to be looking at them all the time. We want to make it easy to find a handful of recipes that suit our needs in the moment. So you can also search by difficulty if you're looking for more advanced recipes or easier recipes. And this is probably one of my favorite sections here, is time. So it's a finite resource. We all have exactly the same amount. And the beautiful thing about the Thermomix is that it cuts your preparation time down to literally seconds and minutes instead of minutes and hours. So you can choose here the recipes that give you these small amounts of prep time, and then you can also choose the total time for the recipe if time is not your friend, and that is a driving factor in your recipe selection. And then you can also select portion sizes. So some of our recipes are built for 1 and 2 people, and some are built to feed a crowd. So again, you can select that. And then we've got our rating systems here. And as you use recipes and find favorite recipes, we really encourage you to rate your recipe, because a lot of people, including you guys, probably love to, love to select recipes that you know are beloved by others. So a lot of people like to select recipes that have 5 or 4 ratings. So that gives me 15 results. And then down here, you can choose the style of Thermomix recipe, because TM31s, you can use these recipes, but only those that are styled for smaller amounts of food, because your bowl is actually smaller in capacity. And then you can choose language and different countries. Now, because I already have English selected, it's offering me the different countries that offer English languages. So I've got 9 recipes in here for Australia, 1 from Malaysia, 1 from Singapore, and 5 from the US. So then I can say, great, show me those recipes, and here they are. And you can see across the top here that these are the filters that I'm looking at the moment. Main dishes, meat, zucchini, English, and 4 and 5 star. And here are the recipes that I can select from. Now, when I'm looking at these recipes, wherever you see 3 little dots, it means that you can do something more. So this sesame ginger chicken with zoodles sounds fantastic. So if I click on those 3 dots, I can make it a cook today recipe, which means that when I turn on my Thermomix and go to my calendar, it will pop up as the recipe that is being cooked today. So it's a great thing to do if someone else perhaps at home is going to start the recipe, and it's the beginning of your scheduling of your menu systems. So you can bookmark a recipe if you don't know exactly what to do with it, but just go, oh, gee, I'd really like to sort that, or do, put it into a collection later. You can just bookmark it. You can add them to specific collections like favorite midweek chicken recipe collection. So you can form your own collections alongside all of the ones that Thermomix have done for you already. And you can add it straight into your calendar here. So I'm going to select that for tomorrow night's dinner. And then you can also do the most amazing thing, which is add it to a shopping list. So I don't know how you guys all do your shopping list. Do you stand in front of the cupboard and wonder? Do you scroll things on a piece of paper? Do you type things into a little list? Do you go with no list at all and come home with God knows what? Or do you go with a list and then still forget things because you're not crossing off as you go? So I absolutely adore the shopping list options that we have here, because it saves you immense amount of time. And once you're in your shopping list at the supermarket, you can just tick off the items as you put them in your cart, and literally they just disappear until you end up with nothing on the screen at all. So I can look here at my week. And here is the biryani that I was cooking today. And there are now the 2 recipes that I have scheduled for tomorrow, the cheesecake that was already there and that ginger recipe that I've just put there with the zoodles. And you can see over here my shopping list. So I can add to or cancel out any of these recipes. You can add additional items in here, which is amazing because, you know, who doesn't need to buy loo paper every time they go, and, you know, a bottle of champagne or something at the BWS next door. And then you can show the ingredient list right here, and it comes up the way that you would shop around the supermarket. So based on groups of different styles of ingredients. And then of course you can look at it by recipe as well, which is sometimes really useful. So there is your shopping list, one of the most useful things. And see this beautiful green button here? Oh my God, so magical. For those of you who like remote ordering, and pick up, or remote ordering and delivery to home, you can just avoid the supermarket altogether by clicking on this, and it transfers this whole shopping list into the Woolies ordering system. And then you can just select the brands of the things that you want, confirm it, and have it all packed ready for you. So talk about time savings. This is just one of the best places to find time savings in all of your menu planning. When you go into my recipes, so we've just looked at my week, this is where you'll see all of the recipes that you've bookmarked and all of the different collections here. So here are the created collections. These are ones that I have created myself. So you can see a few funny titles in here, like Cake It Till You Make It, Christmas cocktails that I was planning, a barbecue, special birthday barbecue. I was gathering recipes together as I found things that I liked, curries that the family likes. So you can create all of your own little collections of recipes that suit your family and your lifestyle. And then here, these are all my favorite pre-saved Thermomix already driven collections. So there are recipes by Sam Wood, so many of them. And any of them that I save appear here, but they also are saved onto the TM6. So if you go remote, you'll notice that the TM6, we're browsing online all the time. So we're always connected to the internet, but you can save your favorite recipes into your calendar and into your collections here. And then if you do go off grid, those recipes are actually on the hard drive of your Thermomix, so you can use them later on. Guys, I think that was what I'm doing for the cookie do sharing at the moment. Wonderful. And we're going to talk a little bit about favorite recipes, but I think, Mandy, you might want to start cooking something at the same time.
All right, yes. So I need to show you a bit with the cutter. I'm very conscious that because of the glitchy start, we're probably running a little bit over time. All my meat is cooked, and I will show you that in a minute. But what I do want to show you is this amazing cutter. So it has what's called a drive shaft, and that just sits over your blades. So you know how your butterfly sits over your blades, so does the drive shaft. But there is only one way that it will sit over there. So you just try it. That's not sitting flush. So I turn it the other way, and now it's clicked on and it's flush. This is the basket that catches everything that you chop and slice and grate in it. And the fantastic thing about this is your bowl doesn't get dirty, your Thermomix bowl. So you can do your chopping, slicing, whatever, and you can go straight on to cook, or whatever you're going to do in your bowl. That sits on like that. Then we have a blade here, and it's actually 2 blades. Side 1 is slicing, a little bit hard to see, but there's a couple of little pictures there, and it shows you that there is a thin slice and a thicker slice. If you have a TM5 and you don't have the modes, the thin slice is on speed 4 with reverse, and chopping normally is the thicker slice. And then on the other side, side 2, which is always a little bit harder to show, it's the grating side. So you'll see, I'm going to use the fine grate on here, and the same thing. When it's fine for a TM5 owners, it is on reverse, and the thicker grate is your normal blades. Okay, now the important thing with this is that whatever you want to do, that side has to go up. So I am going to start with grating, and let me tell you, it's really important that you check this every time, because I have actually, sorry, I'm just starting with slicing. I have actually grated things I've wanted to slice in the past. So just be less impulsive and just check. So I'm going to put that on here, and this just sits on top. Okay, so I have the feeder tube here. It has space for small things. So I've sliced lemongrass in there, chilies, that sort of thing. And then this is a bit bigger. And the reason it's not just a whole thing is you cannot get your hand down there. All right, so that's another safety feature. And what I am going to slice is I have some cucumber. I have taken a little edge off because it was a little bit big to get into that large side. So I'm going to swipe here on my screen. It's not working because my finger's down. And I'm going to hit the slicing. And if you can see this, but I do have the opportunity to do thin or thick. Now, I'm going to serve my gyros. One day I'll get that right without having to think about it, as a poke bowl. So I'm going to do a nice thin slice with my cucumber. So that goes in there. The guider or the pusher or whatever is just waiting there. And I'm going to just turn it to thin. Okay, and I'll just show you what that looks like. This is amazing. So look how thin that cucumber is. Right, so that is perfect for a poke bowl. I'm just going to pop that onto a plate. Also great for English cucumber sandwiches. In the interest of time, I'm not going to show you everything, but I'm going to actually slice a couple of mushrooms. And Carolyn, who's on here today, she came around and we sliced a whole heap of these mushrooms. It was really quick. So I'm going to put, oh, hang on, that needs a little bit of the end of it to get in. All right, so they're sitting on there. And I'm going to do them a little bit thicker. So there we go. That's the thick slice. So I'll grab a piece of cucumber. So fine. All right, so that's the thin and that's the thick. That goes out. And now I'm going to just grate a couple of things. Sometimes you do get a little bit of something left in here. That's all right, just tip that out. And I'm putting the grey is for grate and the slate is for slice. So the grey is going up. So I'm going to grate. And this is amazing. I'm going to do the carrot. It is just absolutely sensational. And I'm going to do a thin one. Oops, thin. And look at this. This is absolutely brilliant. So it's the sort of carrot you'd have if you ordered a salad sandwich somewhere. It's really beautifully fine. So we've got that. My plates. got plenty of other things, but I think in the interest of time, we might stop there. So other things you can do, if you've got an avocado that's not too soft, it will definitely do an avocado. I've done that very nicely. You also, tomatoes, again, they need to be firmish. They actually suggest Roma tomatoes are better. They're slightly less juicy. Beetroot. So beetroot, like I've just done the carrot, that's fantastic because that would be just so messy trying to do it any other way. And as I mentioned at the beginning, no grazed knuckles and mandolins. All right, just quickly, one of the things that we did mention that we would show, and I think this is really important if you're thinking about upgrading from TM31. Have any of you been using recipes from the recipe community? I'd love you to pop in the chat if you have, because what I'm going to do is just give you a little quick overview of how you can actually import those recipes into Cookie Do and then cook them off the screen. So let me just find the right bit back here. Okay, so all right, so this is a recipe. I just picked something that was reasonably easy from the recipe community. Only the best chocolate chip cookies ever. I have a chocoholic daughter, so I probably will make this at some point in time. So normally you would just cook that manually from the, and just print out the recipe or just have your iPad open. But here you are, you can add it to Cookie Do. I'm going to confirm. All right, and here we are. I've got a picture uploaded there. It's put everything in here, but there is a little bit of modification that needs to be done. So I've just got to move you guys a little bit. It's quite clever, it really is. All right, so you can see I've got all my ingredients down here, but I've got to do a bit of modification up here. So I'm going to just do this, make it into different steps. Probably gone a little bit overboard there, but here we are. See these little signs down here? This is what's going to help you. So I actually want to add some ingredients, but I want to be able to weigh them. So it's asking me to, it says the butter. So I want to add the butter. Hang on, that went in the wrong place. Sorry, because I was clicked down there. Let's do it. Let's try again. There we go. So now I click off that butter. The sugars. So now I want to find out what the sugars are. So again, I want to weigh them in. I've got white sugar and I've got brown sugar. And I'm going to get rid of that now. And vanilla. So again, I need to know what that is. Gone too far. Where are you? Vanilla. Okay. So it's asking me, it's saying to put all that in the bowl and cream together for 1 minute on speed 3.4. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go here. I'm going to put 1 minute and I'm going to go, well, I can't put 3 to 4. So I'm going to, I'll put 3.5. There you go. There we go. And then I can delete the rest of that. Okay, and so you keep going. So with the TM still running, I've got to make sure how many eggs I've got. I actually printed this off as well because sometimes it's helpful to have it somewhere else as well. 1 egg. So I need to add, because if you don't put 1 next to this egg, it's not going to show on the screen. And then continue mixing on, here we go. Speed, I can't see it now. It's 30 seconds, I think, 30 seconds. I think it was on that speed 3 to 4 again. So I'm going to actually go 3.5. And you can notice here, we've got no temperature. So if it was something you were going to cook, you would actually add your temperature in there. All right, so I can now delete those next little bits there. Then I'm going to have this as a new step, add the flour. So I want to, again, go in here because I want to weigh it. flour and the salt. And I'm going to again add that. Probably don't need to weigh the salt, but it just tells you how much salt you need. Where are we? Salt. Okay. And then, hope I've got this here, modes. Okay, I can actually use dough mode, which is my kneading, for 30 seconds. All right, so that's all in there. I'm going to do another step. Add chocolate chips. Again, weigh those in so we know how much there is. And stir through with the spatula. Okay, drop teaspoons of that, of the mixture, and bake in a moderate oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So I probably would actually like to put somewhere at the top there, but I've got to turn the oven on. But I can go back in there and do that. But what I'm quickly going to do is see if it's turned. Let me just, after I've done that, I've got done. And I'm going to add it to my week today. All right, and I'm going to stop sharing. And we're going to see if it's up on here. And just so you can have a quick look at what it looks like on the screen. It's a little bit clunkier than cooking. Here we are, there they are. The best chocolate chip cookie. And sometimes I find you have to go backwards and forwards a little bit to make sure it's all working properly on here and that you can see everything that you need to on the screen. So there it is. Start cooking. Enjoy your own recipe. Place 125 grams of butter, the sugar. So I click on, see the little scales is green? Click on there and it's telling me what I have to weigh in. So I weigh all those in and then I'm going to the next thing. Cream together for 1 minute and this now is green. So I click on there, it's set the time and I've just got to turn up to 3.5 and so on. So that's how you do it. That's taken a bit of practice. I've put about, that's probably my 26th recipe I put in there. So I wasn't quite as easy the first time, but it gets easier as you do it. So
that's so fantastic, Mandy. It just makes
good, isn't it? Yeah, really good.
It just makes the just the Thermomix so flexible, you know, for the people who maybe don't love the exact version of a recipe, or if you want to double the sauce, you know, for something, it's, oh, here we go. We were both here together now. Oh, beautiful. Like we can co-host.
And the other thing you can do, you can put your own recipes in, and you can also put in cookie dough recipes that you've adapted in. So if there's something like, there's a chocolate cake I love on cookie dough, and the first time I made it, I had to whip the egg whites, etc., etc. And then I got to the bottom in the tips and it said quick version. And it was pretty much throw everything in. So I have imported that into my creative recipes, and now I do the quick version. So it's a really great adjunct, and particularly if you've been used to, and you've got your favorite recipes in the recipe community, that you can import them and cook them off the screen. Because cooking them off the screen is so much easier. It saves you so much time rather than going back to a book and or your iPad, and your iPad's shut down and you've got to log back in again.
Exactly. So for those of you who are used to using manual recipes, TM31 recipes, you can, you know, program in all your favorite Nana's recipes and all those manual recipes that you've collected over the years. You can actually program them in, make it your own. So your Thermomix can really be, you know, the way that you like it.
Yeah.
All right. So
like you, because
guys,
hang on.
I have a biryani.
I
have a biryani to show you.
Yeah, because I've got to put mine together.
Okay, so I've got a biryani to show you guys. So while all of that was going on, it finished its rice cooking, and it's actually so amazing to have not just plain rice, but, you know, like a whole flavored rice mixture cooking in there on that absorption method. So basically I just emptied it out into this beautiful presentation dish. This is a black thermo server. And then it just asks you to go on with that next stage of the recipe, which I pre-did because we knew that we would be short on time, which is the egg cooker mode. So you can see here, so that just finished that mode. And then it says place 4 eggs, which now I did this prior. So 4 eggs, and in fact, I used 6 because I wanted a couple, you know, for lunches. into the bowl, and then you add water up to the 1 litre level. You place the simmering basket on top, and then you literally just select what kind of egg you want: soft, medium, hard. And this literally just blew our mind. When egg mode was released, eggs just went off, but they went bananas in cookie dough. Just everyone was just cooking eggs. Oh my gosh, it's just so amazing to not have to time your eggs on the stove from when the water begins boiling, right? So this actually does all of that for you. Pretty amazing. So you just dial these up, and then when that's finished, you of course cool them, and then you peel them, place them on top of the rice, and then you just do all of your garnishes. So here we've got it garnished with some yogurt. Did I say that correctly, Mandy? Yogurt. No, I can't do that. Yogurt. So we're Aussie. Yogurt, and some beautiful coriander, and I've got a lot more coriander that could go on. And then I'm just going to pop some of these chilies on here, which my husband will think is fantastic, and a few cashews. Literally, you could, garnish it with anything you like. So that is going to be my family's lunch and dinner tomorrow, and that is the biryani style rice. And it is just so easy, guys. You just follow the bouncy ball, and you've produced something, for probably $6 or $7 that would be worth $20 at a restaurant. And that is really where we say, that your Thermomix, your investment in your Thermomix, it really, really does save you money. And for a cost of about $15 a week on interest-free or $18 a week, depending on which way you're buying it, trade-in or not, most families will save upwards of $50 a week. And I remember a number of years ago when I ran a cooking class, someone put their hand up and said that they were saving upwards of $150 a week because they weren't buying pre-made foods. And these days, with what Mandy was showing you there, can you see in your supermarket, there's the pre-cut pumpkin, there's the pre-sliced carrots, like all of these things, and you pay triple the price for the vegetable pre-prepared or pre-cut when your Thermomix can do all of that work for you. It saves you so much money to have one in your households. So guys, fake it till you make it. And make all the beautiful ideas. I think the girls have been putting some in the chats. Pizza is another one. There's a beautiful pizza oven that Thermomix Australia have actually had made for our market. It's available in the mix shop. So for those of you who love that version of a takeaway, you can just go to the nth degree with all things pizza and all the specialty doughs. And we've got all of the accessories for that in the mix shop as well. So that's another favorite Fakeaway of a lot of people, and butter chicken and all the Indian recipes. Oh my gosh, we could just go on and on and on. So guys, thank you for, Mandy, I think you're ready.
Yeah, I'll come back because I was just going to say the cutter is fantastic for the top of pizzas. So
it is brilliant.
Slicing your mushrooms, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to quickly show you my dish. Great. So there we are. There's the beautiful cooked chicken. I have the tzatziki here as well. And if you wanted to do it, what's happened there? We've got.
We went to a gallery view.
Yeah, we did. And if you wanted to have it as a wrap, I made these wraps today from Cookie Dough. They're gluten-free, and I found them a little bit tricky to manage. The dough was a little bit sticky, but they're very flexible. And I've got these, which these are actually a beetroot wrap, and these work really well. They are not Cookie Dough, but I will send a link for where you can actually find them in the follow-up email that we'll send you all. So if you loved seeing our TM6, and again, I apologise profusely about the start. I have no idea what happened. Did our best. But if you loved it and you want to trade up, then please get in touch with your consultant. If you're not trading up and just want to buy it because it's so amazing, again, get in touch with your consultant and they will help you with that. Thank you so much to Denise for your time in the kitchen, and for Diana and Sandy for all your help tonight too. If anybody's got any questions, please pop them in the chat or come off mute. We will go on to, I'll stop recording, and we will, you can come off and you can chat and ask any questions. Okay, thank you guys.